Okay, we are near the bottom of page Tzaddik. We'll start again. He's talking about the way midas are created from seichel. It brings a mashal. Kamayal the mashal echad shemar lechaverim mokem shenitzam shem oitzu. Someone shows a person a place where there is a treasure. And that triggers the person who hears it to dig and look for the treasure. It doesn't mean that by him, one person showing the other, telling him that this place has a treasure, by doing that he created a interest in a treasure. The person has built in always. He always has the potential. Listen, I'd like to find the treasure, but because someone showed him that this location has a treasure that's hidden there, that makes him go and dig for it. If nobody would tell him there is a treasure there, he wouldn't have interest. Since he doesn't know that there is a treasure there, so he wouldn't go dig for it. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't have, by showing him he created the Ratzon. The Ratzon is hidden. Actually, so that's a mashal. But what does the mashal tell us? That by one person showing the other, telling the other about a treasure, it doesn't create the actual Ratzon. It just triggers a Ratzon that's hidden. It's there already. By showing him, he triggers that hidden Ratzon should be his galus. That's a mashal. What's the name? Person has a built-in potential desire to be interested in things that are good for him. And when the seichel shows the person that this particular object is good for him, so what is that? So that triggers him. He should want it, but it's not that he created a concept of wanting something good. That's built in. He has that potential always. What the Ma'ir does is says to him, this is actually good. Also, he's interested in it. But the nature to want something good exists without the seichel also. Nimtzo. So according to this view, the midas are not totally created from the moich, created and drawn from the moich to the left. They're only triggered by the moich. At the same time, so he wants to show both sides of it. At the same time, midas boy min amoichem chas gileel. So the two opposites that are happening here, he describes each of them, but it doesn't explain how they work together. Let's see now this says the other side. That the midas really are gileel from the moichem. Bereiches Atzilus from the Zohar Eloi Kodem Shenetzal. In Atzilus is Galus Koyach Komus. So similarly, the way it is in the way it is in the Sfiras Lamailo, can say that the Zohar was there before in Maya, and then in the Chabad was only triggering Zohar. Lo Yoyep Kodem Shenetzal. The Mela, from that perspective, the Zohar is actually a creation of an extension of Moichin. Like we explained earlier, that there is a concept of Midas Sheba Moichin, which is leaning in the state of.
What does it mean? Eloi hoyo koidem shenetzal.
Zohar didn't exist. Zohar.
But he said it's Gilui Ahelam, that it was in Atzilus.
It wasn't in the Moichin. It was in the state of Moichin, but in the level of Zohar, it didn't exist. And what he's saying is like this: by us, we already have midas, we have seichel, and the seichel is me'er the midas, triggers the midas. But in Zohar, you don't. So midas, like you said, the mashal from the Eitzah. There is a built-in. There's a built-in state of lirtzis v'davar to be drawn to something good. And yet, the way Zohar is created from Chabad, before Zohar is created, Chabad does not. It's not a pshat. It's there in potential. It's not there. Loi hoya. So they did not see the fact that Zohar is netzel from Chabad. That is galus koyach komas. That means that the koyach komas that was in Chabad was nisgal in Zohar. So that is the. It's not like in the marshal from the Eitzah. That's like we was gonna say now. So
that means that hoyo. I am confused. If you said that this is his galus koyach hakomus, that means that Zo is komus in Atzilus in Moichin.
Yeah, it's komus in Moichin, right? But in the world of Zo, it didn't exist. Like, let's go back. It's not like in the mashal. Let's say in the mashal from the Eitzah, right? So a person wants something good. You want something good before the Moichin affect the Zo, the midas. Person has built-in nature to be drawn to something good. Lirt is whatever type. And what the Moichin do is only trigger, shows that's the way it is in the mashal from Eitzah. The way it is Lamaila, it's Gila element from it's directly from Moichin before that Atzilus of Zohar, before Zohar is created. It doesn't exist in Zohar. It exists only in Moichin. So the Moichin is misgal in a lower level in the Madriga of Zohar. To put it differently, in the marshal of the Eitzah, in the marshal of the midas and Ratzon Seichel midas, like I said on top of the page, it says Vada Sherotzon Kal Nimtza Boy. Shiur Ve'elam. Boy means not in the Moichin, it's in the house. But L'mayla, when it says Atzilus Zo, before Zo was netzel, before Zo was created, didn't exist. It was only Be'elam in Moichin, not in the world of Zo. So that Atzilus of Zo means that something new is created. Not that it's there and it's triggered by the Moichin. It's created from scratch. But not so B'meila is. Let's go back to 2 lines. It says 2 opposite things. First, it says midas are there built in, and the trigger are safe. So that's one way to look at it. But then it says the opposite way. Midas are created from the Moichin. They're behelim in the Moichin, and from the Moichin, they're misgala in the world of midas. And that part of the marshal, that's the way it is in Atzilus. It's not that there is Zo exists. Now the Meichen only triggers Zo, only Megala Zo. Zo doesn't exist in the world of Zo. Zo exists in Meichen. And then the Meichen is Mizgal in a low grade, in a low level in the Midas. But like he says now, that you have the Midas, the way that within the Meichin, as a leaning to Chesed Gvor, or Ispal Sichli, Mizeh Nasa Ispal Midas Belev. So it's not a pshat. So it's not a pshat that Midas is in one world, Meichin is another world, and Meichin is just triggers the Midas. No, the Midas exists within Meichin, and that laws itself to make this Ispal Belev. Because in the world of Maya there's already spilus, there's already some kind of excitement and a leaning towards Chesed Gvur, Agam Shezay Spilus, Etzem Adova Canal. So earlier we said there's a difference in the spilus, the way it is in Meichen, the way it is in Midas. And Meichen it's an Etzem Adova. Kolok Me'egesh Spilus, maybe there's Spilus on Midas. So there is, in order for the Meichen Midas to happen, there has to be spilus in the Midas. In order for Midas to happen, it has to be inspired in the Meichen. So if a person's Isbeinus would be in a way that his Meich is not excited about it, I mean, so the Askola itself directly would not create an excitement belief. That's another concept we learned a few times in Samachet. Something called Gadlus HaMeichin. There's a direct line from Meichin to Midas, but it's not relevant here. Only when in the Meichin, the state of Ispilus, again, it says only when there is Ispilus, there is a excitement in the state of intellect, because that creates a spilus in the midst. So truly said two things here, and he doesn't even explain how to reconcile them. The first marshal top of the page is the Midas exist, and the Meichin just trigger the Midas. The other way to look at it is that there is Midas within the Meichin, and this Midas within the Meichin, it is expressed in the Midas in a way of Gila Elam. That's called Gila Elam. In Yesh Me'ayin, Hu She'amitzias Shenisava Ein Nimtza Klav Makam Ha'av. Yesh Me'ayin means that whatever is created, something from nothing, means that the way it is, the way it exists in the world, in the creator, in the power that creates, it doesn't exist there. So because of that, we call this Gila Midas and Ameichin Gila Elam. Gila Mamash Nizgala Mahus Midas Ameichin. So that's what he says too. It's like there's a subtle difference. Yes, the concept of Gila Elam, but Mitzat Sheni, the Midas, the way the Midas are carried from the Meichin is not that whatever exists in the Meichin as is, the essence is created in the world of Midas, because what's in the world of Midas is a different type of emotion. Ispilus Sichli is a different type of Ispilus, and the Ispilus and the Midas are different. It's not the same Mahus. So it's Gili HaMahus, but ain't a Mamas. Ve'ein ze kamoi inyan ila va'ol shebeseichel, so ze amshach Mahus HaSeichel. There's a concept of ila va'ol shebeseichel. So we learned that Marshall in another Maimah, that when you teach, I think that's the Marshall, teach a student And what he teaches the student is a law great of the same seichel that you learn yourself, the teacher learns himself. So the part of the seichel that reaches the student, biyachas to the part of the seichel, the way the teacher understands it, it's called ilavol. So both of them is the same seichel. They're just the seichel in the lower grade. That's what he says. So the essence of the seichel lowers itself to the world, from the world of the teacher to the world of the student. But here, when we talk to the yachas of midas to seichel, it's not that the essence of that same midas reach the heart. The midas the midas, the way the Sheva are still part of Mechanadaim. It is part of Sichle Inselmus, it's part of Midas Sheva Canal. It's not a direct, the same essential type of feeling, the way it's in the world of midas, the way it is in the world of, as it is in the way of Seichel. Rak ergeshe is pilus. Sheva Seichel, ukumay siba la midas Sheva Leven, she's pilus, zadovash masa the that feeling that that a person has when he's excited within the intellectual realm, that is like a siba. It's not that itself as is muhus. The muhus is misgale in the midas, but it's kamei siba. That's why sometimes it says the opposite of what we just said. We just says the Eina Inueshmai. We said sometimes it says, like we learned earlier, Mi Ba Eile, that Mi Ba Eile means that Eile is Midas, Mi is Meichin, and the way one is created from that is the Yeshmai. Because the Savas Amidas Ma'abina, Shefnes Yeshmai, much Pasavach. Shazeo Ke'inyan Ke'in Yeshmai. Okay, so it took us for a real serious ride here, back and forth. How the yachas of midas to say. First, he said that it's all to explain. Don't forget, all of this is to explain the powers. The bottom of page Tzadik, it says like this. Shasfira Eliyena Keilelet Asfira Shetachteo. אין זה בחירס יציר ויסגרס לבד, כי אם מה שהספירה תחתינו מסעצלס מהספירה עליינו. So in that way, the sphere tachtona is a different type, is a different madriga. At the same time, it's still Gilead Elam. So there are two qualities in the Yachas of Meichin Tamidis. One, and it's called sometimes. It has from a certain perspective, it's Gilead Elam, that the Spilus Fichli is misgale in the world of Midas, in the way that it's not a new world, mamash. It's just the Spilus move. It is a new world. I mean, it's misgale within a new world, but it's the same concept. Same time, it's also sometimes called Yashmai because it's a different level, different type of Spilus. Bima shekosa bepadas anal. In the
Secher and Midos are the example of the Sephira. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, but that's in the Nimshul. Yeah, soon we'll talk about the Nimshul. So the whole marshal of Meichan and Midas, he started in the top of page 30 Kalef, Moel Derech Marshal. Started a long Arichas till now. The Yachas of Seichel of Meichan and Midas, he spoke about it in a few ways, and what the synopsis of the concept is the Bekitza. What he said was that there's sort of two parts here. On one hand, the Midas is something new. On the other hand, Midas is kolol in the Meichin. There is this pilot Shabbat. This is the general concept. The now brings in the same paradise we had yesterday. We must go to paradise now. Yes, Gimel Madregas and Tis Amidas Commission in the Atzma. Call Zephon says Gauss Mahus Bebina Atzma. So he spoke about how the paradise, the paradise later, it's not the same, a few lines later in the paradise, he talks about Midas and Bina. So the way there's a Metzius, that there's a Madrega where Midas exists within Bina. So there is a way that Midas exists within Bina. So that means that they're there as part of Bina. It's a chain, it's Yesh Me'ayin. Why is he bringing this entire marshal? He wants this entire process is to explain what is the Chidush of Eilam HaTikun. Calls the human in the Skalat HaTachton Shebe'el in Madregas Tikun, when we say that Tachten is Nichlal the Elin. In Tikun Shazeh Mashav Sfira Liena Yesh Koyach HaSfira Tachtein. The low sphere is there in a state of potential. Now, in page Reisamach Beis, the Reisamach Beis, there's a list, there's a few words that the Rebbe Shab added over here. What Ein Tzarech La'atik. The Rebbe once said in a sikha that when it says Ein Tzarech La'atik, we should still copy it, right? Because it's like a Kasal Kadaita of the Rashab. What is he saying in our case? He says, So this concept, what he just said, is similar to what it says in Sefer Yitzira, Oven b'chochma v'chakam b'bina. The scholars that there's bina she'b'chochma, chochma she'b'bina. Okay, I don't know why he took it out. Okay, you just read it, but we're not going to get into it. So what is he saying? She'b'sfira elyeina yesh koyach ha'sfira tachtoina. The higher sphere contains the potential for the lower sphere. It's not in a way that's mitzias mamish, but it's bekoyach. But now he says in parentheses when he says ain't mitzias mamish, doesn't ain't a koyach bilvad. But that gufa, he said it's not koyach bilvad. It's not pure potential. It's like my klal apart, like my koyach bilvad. So if you remember, we learned the whole hemshah, the difference between klal apart and iyuli. Klal apart ain't the klal masha befat. Klal, the general statement, the Mishnah contains everything the Gemara has. Klal is klal apart. The mele, the yachas of the klal to the prat is not like the koyach iyuli. Koyach iyuli is. Koyach iyuli means that it's a very abstract. Mashin Kalapat is closer. That's what he says. What he's saying here. The ein zebchinas koyach. Shayzak my Kalapat like my koyach iyuli. It's not the iyuli. Iyuli is just the potential. When he say koyach iyuli means that he has the potential to reach somewhere, but in the world of potential, it doesn't exist at all. When we say klal apart, the klal actually koyach the part. The klal, when you say a klal, any klal, that we always bring what the pasuk says, or called va pesha, shayla, chamoy, kol aveda. So the Gemara says klal apart to klal, and the klal much apart. So the klal kol aveda actually means shayla, chamoy. So the klal includes the part, not just the state of potential. Koyach iyuli means potential. So the klal is closer. So he says that when we say that the Sfira Elyon is Sfira Tachtoina, it means that it's in a state of koyach, but it's not mamish. It's something in between. Mamish, but it's not in a way of Yuli. At the same time, Lein the Metzius Dover, Shnema Shmohus Atak Kolver. But Derechal is Shleima, and then he brings a dogma. The Chachmo Bina in Klalopat. Meichen Amida is Koyach, Imkines Koyach Opoyel. So Chachmo Bina, the Yachas of Chachmo Bina is Klalopat. The Yachas of Meichen Amida is more like Koyach Opoyel. Tzarichin Mashkos Maimer Azer, or Bala Leker, and it's Ruchat Malabit. Okay, there's a Tzarichin from another Maimer that's not really related. Alkoponim, what are we getting at? So what happens? The sphere tachtoin is kolul sphere elyoina, but it's not Chis Metzius. Shenetzla sphere tachtoina, when the lower sphere is emanated from the higher sphere, is kamatik me'neir l'neir. So that's the famous marshal. It says the lashon in Pasuk in Rashi in Paloischa. But salti v'lekachti min haruach asher alecha v'samti aleim. That's salti min haruach. So what does it say? K'madlik minei l'neir. When you light one candle from the other, the original candle doesn't lose anything by lighting the second candle. She'ein ha'original chaser klum. She'ein b'chnes metzias this metzias mamash. It's not the pshat that the first candle has a piece of him that's taken away and moved over to the second candle. It's another point. But first he wants to show the marshal that the second sphere exists within the first sphere, not as a metzius mamish. So when the second sphere, when the lower sphere is created, didn't take anything away. There was nothing new. There was nothing that was taken away from the first one. That koyach stays in the sphere elyoina tamid. La'olam makabel sphere tachtenu elyoina. Shekena b'chachma bina. That's the way it is in chachma bina. Meiken v'zayin tachtenis l'gimel l'sheines. Similarly, that's the way it's meichen the midah. Zayin tachtenis l'gimel l'sheines. That silas at zayin tachtenis ma'gimel l'sheines shetamid makablim oil ma'gimel l'sheines. So the law madrega. Okay, so what is the inner fiskalus? To summarize, that's what he started talking page Tzadi. That to summarize the concept he's saying here is that the way Iskalus works in Tikkun, that the lower Madrega exists within the higher Madrega in a state of potential, Koyach, and the higher Madrega always gives the power to the lower one. Mashenken spheres the Toyu, so that's the way it is in Tikkun. Mashenken spheres the Toyu. So that's what he said, if you remember, in page Tzadik, when he started talking about the different Torah and Tikkun, in page Tzadik, that's everything we learn now till now. From there, that was to explain this line. In a scholarship, alien be'etzem mitzius a koil amadrega shlamata menu, aveloi shem boikim mitzius nivdeles hakol boy. That's the whole point he's making here. That he was making that the higher sphere contains the lower sphere, but not mitzius nivdeles. Not like it's a separate entity, but it's part of the sphere elyoina. What is the other way? How is it in Toyo? And Toyo is Kamoi is Kalos Davar Nivdal. Kamoi Uba Babet name Shamatis with Nazi. That's the difference. The way it is in Tikkun, the way the sphere of Tachtain is called the sphere Elyoina, it's part of the sphere Elyoina. part of it. It's not like a separate entity that exists there, like Oba B'Me'imai, like a fetus within the mother. It's a separate being, a separate mitzvah. It just happens to stay within the mother. Oba B'Me'imai.
But the Uber is dependent on the. Is this the same also?
Okay.
No,
Right,
I'm saying sometimes the mashal exactly like the Nimshal.
No, it's not
Sometimes
exactly.
not all the details.
You're
No,
right.
I'm just wondering what is it?
Only that
Yeah.
part. Only the part that it's separate. Weiter. Is Galas Zayin Tachteinin, the Birabina is Galak Moshe Bin.
So in Toyu is like a Uber B'mei Imoi.
What? But that's what he says here.
In
That Nelamatoyu, the way the midas are, but in the Meichin, similar. It's similar to the way of Uber B'mei B'meile, but the important thing is Galus Zayin Tachteinin, as is Galak Moshe Bin. So the two are possible. When we said in the Olam HaTikun, we said before about Meichen and Midas, we said that what is Misgale in the world of Midas, not the Spilus the way it is in the world of Meichen. The Spilus and Meichen is a different type of Spilus, and then it's Spilus and Meichen is part of Meichen. It's not a Dovan Livdo, it's part of Meichen. That triggers a different type of Gilui. That triggers a different type of Gilui, which is the Spilus Hamidas. In the world of Midas, it's not exactly the same as Spilus the way it was in the world of Meich. That's the way it's in Tikkun. In Toyu, he says that the way the Midas are called in the Meichin, it's a separate entity. The male, when it's Misgale, it's Misgale the way it was. It's not something new that happened. It's mamish the same thing. What's mentos? Now he's going to explain a little more in parentheses. This is the whole key point that he's going to explain here. How in the world of Toihu, the low madrega and the high is not when it's called in the higher madrega. It's not a pshat; it's a different being. It's as is, just exists within the higher madrega. It's not the male when it actually becomes a separate being. So it's not. There's no chiddush here. It just moved from one location to another, but it's not because the chatchila it existed within the higher madrega as its own being, not as part of the higher madrega. Just like in the marsh of the Uber Meim, the Meile. So the yachas of the spheres to the other, they're not. The scholars is not as strong. It's not part of the higher madrega. Yeshloimar. So now to explain it better, he got into a new complicated discussion. The okay, so we learned by Arichas in the Maimer when we learned Samachet. It was a while ago. By Igdal Nar Samachet, he brings the, if you remember, he brings the marshal. What is the marshal of Toyu? He brings the marshal from Koichas HaNehelamim Shebenefesh. When the person, as is usual, the marshal is Simchas Bnei Yechida, or Chas V'Shalom, the opposite. The person is a very radical state of tsar, danger. What happens is that in the normal scheme, which is called tikkun, which is not in our own day-to-day experience, the way the way the attributes of our soul operate, they're in a hierarchy. That's what he's talking all about until now. That first there is first the person understands something, then there's meters, then he feels for it, then he thinks about it, then he speaks about it, then he acts about it, and so it's a state, it's a gradual state. So in other words, these galus koyches agluim is gradual. Each koyach triggers the one below it. Then it says that when a person is in a state of, in the koyches ne'elam, the way things are ne'elam b'nefesh. When you look at the nefesh has the potential to have moichin and midas. So in the state of potential, you don't say the potential of the midas is a result and a hemshach to the potential of the moichin. It's two different things. You have the potential of the moichin midas. In the koyches agluim, they operate in that gradual way. First, you have the understanding, then you reach lower to the emotion, and then you act it out. But in talking in the way it's koyches ne'elam shebenefesh, the way it's in etzem nefesh, the nefesh has the power to analyze intellectually, has the power to feel, and it has the power to do. And they're not this potential is they're not dependent on each other. They don't go in that order. The Mele, that's what it says in Chassidus, that sometimes the person is in a state of simchas neyechida, for example. So then it can have emotions that are not dependent. It can express emotions that are not dependent on the moichin. So it's a direct flow of emotions straight from the etzem and nefesh. And they don't. Not only that, it says also it doesn't interfere in the world of koyches agluim. One of them interferes with the other. If you're in a state of if you're the intellect, you have to be more in a state of you have to be quiet in a contemplative mood, and emotion is more excitement. But in the ksiyos neyechidais, that's the standard marshal. You can have both of them at the same time, and they don't interfere with each other. It's a certain state of being which is not normal, so to speak. In other words, it's not orderly and it's not normal. That's what the famous marshal in Chassidus and Gilui koyches ne'elam. Then in the Maimorim of Toy and Tikkun, the Ve'iglan Orim, that's a marshal of the way this galus feels the Toy. So there's a Toy. We just learned the Vayishlach. Akudim, the Kudim Avodim. So the three expressions in Chumash about the Tzayin Lavan, the Tzayin Yaakov, Akudim, the Kudim Avodim. So Kabbalah uses these expressions to explain the stages, the way they give their spirits. So akudim means akudim bekli echad. All akudim means bound. Akedo, vayaked the sitzaglo. Akudim means bound. They're all bound together. Akudim bekli echad. So the madrega of akudim, it's a marshal of the koyches ne'elamim. Like I said, all of them are in the same place because in the source, in the potential, there's no difference in the state of potential. Don't need in etzem and nefesh. There's not different kedi for chachma or for chesed because it's not. There's no real chachma and chesed. Just the potential. So it's all bekli echad. So the after akudim comes nekudim, which means in nekudim, which is elam hatoyu, the spheres of akudim are mizgale the way they are. Like I said in the marshal, gilui koyches ne'elamim. Each sphere expresses itself directly, not dependent on the one above. Okay, that's the general understanding what I'm giving you now. But now, what we said, Mitzat Sheni, we just said that in the world of Toyu, so according to that, in the world of Toyu, Chachma comes from Akudim directly into Chachma, and Zo and Zayin Tachtonos, Chesed comes directly from Akudim. So there should be no dependence, but the pile there is, he said. That in the Kudim the Zayin Tachtonos the Klurim Mitchel V'Bina. The pale and Toyu, there is a certain measure of dependence of the spheres on each other. So let's try to see the way he says. I'm
sorry, just before you go. So, and the Perudim is the Iscaritus, correct?
Yeah, Budim, that's it. That's the Atzilus. That's Elam Atzilus, Elam Atikun. Budim is Elam Atikun. That's not relevant here. Now here's just an Akudim and a Kudim. So Yeshleima, the Kamoishach Lolus in
So in Olam Atoyu, since
Yeah.
it's coming directly, the meal is coming directly from the source, why is it dependent on the Meichel?
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. I just said that part is not. Let's see how you explain it. There is, to a certain degree, it is dependent, but it's in a different way. That's what he says. The commercial clause now says that sheyotzav and izgal asfir shekulim ba'kudim. The mevur b'makamacha, like I just said, commercial ba'kudim ba'efim kazen izgal. That olam asfiras that toyu, the spheres of toyu, he says, they express themselves directly from akudim in the kudim. That's from akudim in toyu. Okay, that's what it says. That's the general view. But then more specifically, in the Olam HaTorah, there is also, it contradicts what I just said, but it's that in a general terms, Olam HaTorah is a direct expression of Olam HaTikun, of the Akudim, but at the same time, there is a certain hierarchy still. Like we just said, Zayin Tachtonos, what does it say? The Olam HaTorah, Zayin Tachtonos Ekulim Tchila B'Bina. So there is a certain level of dependence, but it's not the same. That uses the marshal of Akudim to the way the Yachas of Zayin Tachtonos to Bina. Just like we said in the Akudim Nekudim, that the Akudim mean that the spheres of Akudim come directly in the Kudim, in the Toyu, not in a state of dependence. Kamoi Kain of the spheres of the Toyu, in spheres of the Toyu Gufa, as Zayin Tachtonis, כמו שכלנו מבין את הטויו, באופן כזה יותם נסגל. When we say that in Toyu there is a certain level of there is a certain level of dependence of one sphere on the other, but the way it is similar to Akudim. In other words, going back to the marshal of the Uber Shebe'im or the Midas Shebe'meichin, it's not that the Midas, for the way the Midas come from the Meichin, is also not gradual. The Kamoy Sheheim, they are there, and the way they are in the Meichin, that's the way they are Miskal in the Midas. And he says there's a difference. Again, in Akudim and Akudimu, שבעקודים מבחינת עד המציאס לגמרי, זה מה שהעקודים בכלי אחד. כשנסגר מבחינת נקודים, נס מסתכל במציאס, when you talk at the יחס of עקודים to נקודים, it's like potential to actual. In the עקודים is potential. It's just עד המציאס לגמרי. Like I said, the marshal from כחס עקודים בנפש, כחס נעלמים, so the way they're in the nefesh, they're hidden. We don't know anything about it. Then there is Gale, so that's a gilu. It's a major glip. Not only that, not take from it sees. Like the marshal I said from the Chasnas Neichid, and the person's Nefeches Ne'alomim in this Gale, it's very powerful. That's why it also says about Chasnas Neichid that the Seichel is very high. A person can come up with very new types of scholars, and also in the Midas, the emotions are totally new and different type of experience. It's these guys of a the way it is behelim, it's Adam Matthias Legamre, and it's Mizgal is Betoik. The Khan, Mashenk, it's like in the dogma it says that in Toya Gufa, the way the Midas come from Bina, it's not the same thing. Adam Matthias. So he doesn't finish, he doesn't elaborate exactly. So in a way, it was like he brought this whole concept as a mashal, but it's funny. It's a mashal on itself. Just the yachas of nekudim to akudim is that the in nekudim in toyu the galas of akudim is direct. And as is, so to speak, just the way it is in the state of Akudim. That's at Misgal and Akudim. similarly, we say that in the way the yachas of the midas to the meichin in a midas to bina and elamatoy is also that as is, just like the uber is b'meyaim, that's how it comes out. It's not something new that comes out. It's the same, stays the same stage. But there's a difference. He says that akudim the kudim, that's mamish head from head on mitzias to mitzias. Mashingen here, even the way it wasn't bina, it was still a mitzias. Obviously, everything we learned here, each of them, it's its own world that can be developed a lot. But at this point, I just want to capture the general ideas. These galos zois, okay, going back to the way the zayin tachtenis in Toya is galot from bina, these galos zois, ein as itzias bilvad, or kama itzia makam. So a male when the midas come from meichin, it's not a creation of something new. It's just an exit, a movement from one place to another. It's not a new creation. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll hopefully I'll try to figure out where. Hopefully I'll have something more to say tomorrow. Okay.
R'Dovid, the thing for your son-in-law is still active.